Wewulira bino agava e Bungereza gyawunye dda General Museveni ne mutabani we bafeesa anti ekiri eyo ebikolwa badde bajja bakola enteekateeka z'okutyobola eddembe ly'obuno okutulugunya bannayuganda ati no birinya enkandago era nga agali e Bungereza General Museveni yejjusa lwaki adde akola ebikolwa biro bityo byakola ku bannansi.
They are torturing Ugandans. They are torturing Ugandans on a daily basis. It's only in Uganda where they build torture chambers where men and women are being tortured than building schools in Uganda, than building hospitals in Uganda, and they call them safe houses. These are places Ugandans are being tortured to death. How can you call them safe houses? That is an English word because they are dealing with a brutal dictator. They don't want to call him a dictator. They want torture for them. They call it safe houses. Dictatorship in Uganda, they call it democracy. But it's not so. We've been living under this brutal dictator for the last good years, 40 years. He's the richest brutal dictator in Africa. Uganda today will be looking like Trafalgar Square and Liverpool Street with the money from the UK it gives to Uganda. £1 billion every year. For the last 40 years, Uganda should be like a Trafalgar Square. Uganda should be looking like Liverpool Street. The surroundings of Kampala should be like Chelsea and Kensington. Well, the brutal dictator Museveni, he has got mansions around London. He has got the most expensive house in Holland Park. He has got houses in Chelsea. He has got houses in Kensington. This is a man who come here and beg for money, but he's the richest man in Africa. Really, UK, if you support democracy and human rights, how can you be siding with the brutal dictator of Uganda for the last 40 years? That cannot be democracy. In the UK, we have 13 prime ministers. In Uganda, we still live under the same dictator. In America, they've just changed leadership. The problem for Uganda is leadership and corruption. We are calling on the UK to be on the side of the 47 suffering million Ugandans in removing the brutal dictator Museveni of Uganda. Enough is enough. Museveni must go.
Museveni must go.
Museveni must go.
Museveni must go.
Uganda is bleeding.
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 We are talking about a payload. 1.5 million Rwandese. When you hear the genocide in Rwanda, it was financed and supported by Museveni. When you hear they talk about M23, those are Ugandan soldiers fighting for minerals in the DRC Congo. You talk about Southern Sudan, the same warlord is in Southern Sudan. You talk about Somalia, the same junta is in Somalia. People power, our power. If that evidence is not enough, do you want Ugandans to be wiped out of their country? And when we come to the UK, you complain of immigrants, but you are supporting the brutal dictators around the world. Will not be here if the UK is not pumping £1 billion to Uganda every day. That money is used to buy arms, to buy ammunition, to buy tear gas. Ugandans don't want arms. Ugandans are asking simple medication, for simple schools, for simple roads. A nation of 47 million Ugandans. We have 10 working ambulances in Uganda.
Yeah.
But when you go down to St. Thomas Hospital,
Yeah.
they have no ambulances. But the same brutal dictator is the richest man in Africa. How can you be giving the richest brutal dictator money while he's the richest man? We know you have got your interest in Africa, made in Uganda, because the diamond, the oil, the gold is not being sold in Uganda. It's being sold in the UK. No wonder why, for the last 40 years, the UK is supporting the worst brutal dictator in Africa. We are calling on the UK to stop financing, promoting the brutal dictator Museveni of Uganda. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
It's only in Uganda where they don't build hospitals and schools, but they build prisons. Uganda, after Russia and China, Uganda is the third country in the world for having more prisons than schools, for having more prisons than hospitals. This is Uganda of today. They used to talk about Idi Amin, that was the worst dictator in Uganda. But Museveni is among all dictators we've had in Uganda and in Africa. People power, our power, NUP.
Everywhere.
The word democracy comes from England. It's an English word. But democracy can exist in the UK, but not in Uganda. Human rights can exist in the UK, but not in Uganda. Why? This is double standard. You cannot preach one and then you preach different from the other side. We want to be able to be back home, but we cannot be at home because the brutal dictator, he has killed most of our families. Some of us, we are orphans. We've been here for 35 years. This is part of our country. But still Uganda is our motherland. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. We are talking about this dictator. He has made Ugandans poorer. Ugandans are suffering under this brutal dictator. People power. Our power. NUP. Everywhere. You cannot call 40 years in power democracy. It's an English word. I think you know what it means. Democracy cannot be 40 years for one man to be in power. Human rights abuses, rape is one of it. Denying children to go to school is human rights. This is happening in Uganda, and you are still financing this brutal dictator by pumping £1 billion every year. This your man and my money is going to no good causes. It's going to torture us. It's going to rape. It's going to kidnapping, sodomizing, and building more torture chambers where men and women are being tortured to death. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP. Everywhere.
NUP.
This is the so-called Uganda High Commission. It's a crime scene. This is where crimes have been committed. And we are calling on the Madiban family to stand with the 45 suffering million Ugandans in condemning the brutal dictator Museveni of Uganda. That should stop the raping, the torturing, the land grabbing, the murdering, sodomizing of Ugandans. People power.
Our power.
Our power. We want to change leadership in Uganda. Is the main problem. with corruption. We need to be like America. We need to be like the UK. From Sunak to the new Prime Minister. But for the last 30 years, we are yearning for that change. And that change is not coming. But I promise you, Museveni is going. I want to let you Ugandans know that we in the UK will never allow the brutal dictator Museveni to sit on our heads again. We have refused him. We refused him 35 years ago, and we are here to fight him until the brutal dictator is gone. Museveni must go. Museveni must go. Uganda is bleeding. Uganda is bleeding. Thank you for listening.
Hello, Ugandans. The people you see behind me here are Ugandan community. And they are not here because we would like to be in the cold. It is because we have a long-standing dictator who has been in power for 40 years. He is not developed the country at any time. You can't believe it's only in Uganda where the interns, the doctors are not paid, but the army is paid in full and the torture police is paid in full. It's only in Uganda where the civil servants and teachers go unpaid. And it's only in Uganda where people who work within government departments, the only currency they understand is corruption, because the junta, the dictator of Uganda, has made the country so corrupt. UK, stop funding using UK taxpayers' money to keep the dictator in power. Your taxpayers' money worth £1 billion every year goes to the drains, because what happens, the money given to Uganda is swindled by the dictator. In Uganda, the army and the police have new uniforms, new boots. The medics in hospital, the doctors, barely have surgical gloves. And this is what you keep funding. You keep funding the army to torture Ugandans. And your taxpayers' money goes to the murderous regime. The same man has been in power for 40 years. What makes me laugh, he's won the election 7 times and he's still coming back. UK, you can't stand that. Somebody comes twice and is gone. But we've had the same dictator winning elections after elections. The only thing he's done is to rebrand his name. He's got 7 names. He started off with 2 names. And you keep finding the same dictator. The only currency in Uganda is not the shillings for the dictator, it's corruption. You change leaders, you change things, a lot of things have happened. Under the dictator, the only progress we've had is Chinese building prisons. And that's what we expect. We expect more people to go to prison than go to hospital. The dictator never builds hospitals. The health sector is like a dog kennel. We can't believe what the hospitals look like in Uganda. They are worse than a dog house in UK. Believe me or not, everybody you see behind me here has only seen one ruler, and that's the dictator of Uganda. They have never seen another leader. You can't tell them Idi Amin was bad when he built hospitals, schools, roads, and had a better infrastructure. The only person they have seen is the one who came and destructed what Idi Amin had built. So, you try to convince the young ones here behind me that Idi was bad, but we can see the damage caused by this regime. And there was no corruption, there was no nepotism. The dictator of Uganda has made Uganda look like a family kingdom place, whereby the dictator of Uganda is the head of state, the ruler, and his wife is the deputy, the son is the army commander, and the brother is the central bank governor. That is the Uganda we have of a dictator. How can you have a family rule? Even Putin at his worst has not put his wife in charge of affairs. The wife to the ruler of Uganda, the dictator, is a minister of education. She barely has a nursery certificate. She is the minister of sports. She can't run 5 meters. She can't even walk elephant feet. Sorry for my language. This is a woman they say is a minister. That is the corrupt regime. The dictator of Uganda has robbed Uganda right and left. He's the richest man on the continent of Africa, and he's still getting richer because you keep funding him. Imagine 1,111 internees. They only needed just shy of just about $500,000. It wasn't given to them, but he keeps passing out army personnel after army personnel in new cars, new boots, new uniforms. Yet the interns, the doctors, the medical doctors are not paid. Why do we say this? We want a regime change, and we'll do it with your help or no help. The only help we want from you is the intervention. Stop funding the dictator. We will take him on. If you don't stop funding the dictator, that's when we stop reasoning with you. We will go fighting. But be warned, you still have a sense of reason. So we want the dictator out of power in Uganda. 40 years is not little time. The people you see behind me here have never seen anybody in power except the same dictator who dines and wines with the people here. I don't count how many times he has been to UK and given a red carpet. Shame upon the UK government. 13 prime ministers have come and gone. They are still shaking this hand of one dictator, and that dictator of Uganda, that's Yoweri Museveni. He's a curse to us. He found there were 26 district hospitals. Today, there is none functioning. He came to Uganda when there were 26 districts which were functioning okay. We have 145 districts. I don't know what they mean. This is a dictator who has used corruption through and through. He is destroying the economy to the extent it's only a small clique of Asians, Sudan, European and so on, who have the money. The locals don't have anything. And we still fund that. The money you give, the taxpayers' money you give to Uganda, comes back here. It goes to Wembley, it goes to Leicester, within the Indian community. It doesn't go to the local Africans. Stop sending that money there. We are fighting the dictator and we're bringing him down. He can see us in his wing mirrors. We are approaching the finish line. But be warned, he's not going to leave without a scar. He's not going to leave Uganda without a scar. He's robbed Uganda's economy. The dictator in Uganda has killed us in mass numbers. He's murdered. He's raped our mothers. He's raped our daughters. He's raped our grandmothers. How much more rape of the economy, the people, we have to do so to get a rude awakening? We want him out of power. And the only way, thank you for being good to me. Why don't you stop funding him? Will you stop funding him? We are taking him. We are well resourced. We have the human resource, and we have the money. So we can take him on. Your fans keep him and prolong his stay in power. And this is what we are funding the corruption, stop funding the dictator. We stop giving him money. We've never had elections in Uganda. We've had selections. He comes in and the next day he swears in. This is a junta dictator, but worse than Putin. Every selection comes around 5 years. He's wrapped the constitution. He's made the constitution a notebook that manage Uganda. And they swing it back here. Via road puppet. Lord Central. I don't know if he's a bishop, but he's a bishop of robbery. And the other, they keep robbing Uganda. This has to stop. NUP everywhere. NUP
Everywhere.
everywhere.
NUP.
Kunga Uganda. Kunga NUP. Kunga Uganda. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I think now there's another Iron Lady. Yeah, Iron Lady, the mic is yours. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP. Everywhere. People power.
Our power.
I don't hear you. People power.
Our power.
Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
Ladies and gentlemen, you Ugandans who are in this house, we want you to know one thing. That because of what Dictator Museveni has been doing, coming to 40 years now, we will never be silent. We will not stop talking about this because UK and other Western countries have kept sponsoring the torturing, the murdering, the bloodshed of Ugandans. And because of that, we will not keep silent. People power. Our power.
People power.
Right now, Museveni has taken over the only source of income for Ugandans, and he has done that on top of what he has been doing. He removed our cotton, the cotton growers. Sorry? People power. Our power.
People power.
Please, UK, stop sponsoring a murderer, please. We fight for Ugandans who are being tortured day and night. Ugandans are kidnapped until now. 40 years, Museveni has been killing Ugandans, and he still continues to kill Ugandans. And you are aware of that, and you keep sponsoring him. Even the woman who has been working with the Chief Justice has shown the United Kingdom that the leaders in Uganda are abusers. The woman has abused a girl she brought to work for her. You have it in your news. Why do you keep Museveni in power? Museveni must go.
Museveni must go.
We will sing this. Museveni must go.
Museveni must go.
We will not keep silent. Museveni must stop killing Ugandans. Stop killing Ugandans, Museveni. You will not kill everybody. You cannot keep murdering and murdering and murdering. It is known globally that Museveni is an abuser of human rights. Recently, all the political prisoners who have been imprisoned for almost 4 years have been forced to accept all the trumped up charges so that they can get some freedom. That is not fair. We have been crying for the freedom of political prisoners. Now he has compromised them after torturing them that they should accept that they were terrorists. That is wrong. United Kingdom, stop sponsoring a murderer of Uganda. Stop sponsoring Museveni. We will speak it. We will say it. We will come. We will until he stops. We are not going to be silent. All the taxpayers' money, all the aid you give to Uganda, it is for buying weapons. It is for building torture chambers. Uganda is bleeding. Uganda is bleeding. We are tired of seeing our people being kidnapped, being sodomized, being tortured. We are tired of that. Uganda is bleeding. Stop sponsoring Museveni. Stop sponsoring a murderer. Stop sponsoring a dictator. We will keep talking and talking until Museveni is removed. You all know Museveni was never elected. Museveni has never been democratically elected. Never. Museveni otuhikuze orugomuntebe yetu. Museveni ojende. Museveni otuhikuze. Munyarwanda watukurebereire oli otuhikuze. Museveni ojende. Repeat after me. Museveni ojende.
Museveni agende.
Museveni ojende. Museveni no muisi. Museveni no mutemu.
Museveni no mutemu.
Museveni ojende. Museveni atuhikuze.
Museveni aitukuze.
Museveni tukutamirwe. Museveni jetunakwenda. Okaruke y'u Rwanda. Museveni atuhikuze. Museveni ojende. Otwise watumaraho.
Nyize.
Tukutamirwe. Otuhikuze. Oryo mushuma. Oryo mushuma. Oryo mnisi. Oryo mutemu. Museveni must go.
Museveni must go.
Museveni must go. Museveni must go. People power. Our power.
People power.
NUP.
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
NUP.
Museveni must go.
Museveni must go.
Webale munonga, wakutera mwana. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen. What a voice. Thank you, comrade. Like my previous posters you see here, I guess you can read them all. Dictator is the word, the message today. What are we talking about? The man has deprived us of our rights. The man has deprived the human rights to Ugandans. How is it affecting the people of the United Kingdom? Please unite with us. The message is simple. The message is loud. Here. We are demanding our freedom. We can handle our economy our way. But the more you continue conniving, with a dictator, calling him an ally, you're making life difficult for us. We are demanding to stop dealing with this dictator. Please stop. Any dictator around the world is a menace to human rights. It is a proper menace to human rights. So we kindly request you stop dealing with the dictator. It's high time people went back home. Thank you very much, UK. You've hosted us long enough. We cannot sit back and look at the atrocities happening in Uganda and think it's normal business. It is not. It's time Uganda together and we spoke the word democracy. Democracy is the message. We have so much Uganda can offer. You won't believe it. Unbelievable. Give us 6 months. We'll be gone like a flash. 6 months even too long. 2 weeks will be out of this country. But we are requesting you to listen to the voices on the streets. We are Ugandans. I am a Ugandan, trust me. My message is loud and clear. Stop dealing with the dictator. My previous comrades have highlighted the issues that are straightforward. But you should ask yourself, how does it affect the economy of the United Kingdom? We should stop dealing with these dictators. How much have we got to pass on the message? It is very simple. The UK young children cannot afford the housing. The health system is suppressed. All the facilities are suppressed. How long are you going to keep on? The immigration notion is an issue that has been covering all the elections. You keep on singing and dancing about immigration. What are you going to do about it? You can't keep on building houses. How many more hospitals are you going to build? How many more schools are you going to build? No more. Enough is enough. It's high time people went back home. Stop dealing with these dictators. We are requesting you. Stop dealing with the dictators. That's all we're asking you. I don't know what kind of language you can use here. We speak one language. All we're asking you is freedom. Respect the human rights. Go on social media. Find out the human rights abuse in Uganda. I'm talking about people in Downing Street. Lord Popot, where are you? Priti Patel, are you listening? Sula Braverman, you came on last week. By the way, would like to thank the new elected conservative leader, Kemi. Kemi, look at your predecessor and see where they went wrong. These people were supporting a dictator in Uganda. I'm going to speak this openly, loud and clear. The message to the people in Downing Street. They're leading the incumbent government. Please listen to our voices. Let's get to a round table and have a normal dialogue about the issues in Uganda. Don't just walk away and think it's business as normal. It is not. People are dying in Uganda. People are suffering in Uganda. You won't believe it. Just last week, university students were actually dying of hunger. There was a victim at the University of Uganda. Not many universities, the one acknowledged university in Uganda. A student collapsed because of mere hunger. He was dying of hunger. That is the nation we're talking about. How low can we go, ladies and gentlemen? How long can we handle this? We want our country back. This man is an imposter. This man is another foreigner in Uganda who's created all these atrocities. And I side with you people who sit back and say enough of the foreigners. We are foreigners. all we're asking you, we want to go back home. We want your support.
yeyo embeera nga bweri mu ggwanga lya Bungereza. Bannayuganda banyiivu si basanyufu n'akamu, bali mu kulaga butali bumativu bwabwe olw'embeera eggwanga lya Bungereza gye likola ku Nakyemalira Museveni.
Very simple. Go social media, find out about human rights. Find out about human rights in Uganda. The man has abused all the rights a human is entitled in Uganda. And you people are going to sit back and say, it's